Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg. It's your pitch hitting host for the day, Nick Boucher, here with your council recap. We have Chad Brecklin here to give us the latest of what happened at the Common Council meeting from June 24th. How you doing, Chad?
I'm doing well, Nick. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. Feeling a little nervous in the hot seat, but this is your wheelhouse, so I'm going to leave it to you for the most part, and you'll get me through it.
Let's get after it.
Let's get after it. What do we have up first? Public appearances for non-agenda items?
Yeah, so we had a couple of items under this section of the agenda, and our new city fire chief, Scott Sarver, has started a couple of weeks ago, and he was introduced at the Common Council last night. He gave a little bit about his background and his initial assessment of the department and community, and where he is planning to move and take things from here. So it was nice to have allow him to have a couple of minutes to introduce himself to the community. And then the second item we had is part of our capital improvement plan process. That is our capital budget process, which covers significant purchases such as large pieces of equipment, facilities, roadway projects, park projects, and so forth. So we had our first of two public hearings on that. There were several folks who spoke in regards to a proposed installation of sewer along Irish Lane during an upcoming reconstruction project. There will be a second opportunity for public hearing and public comment on the capital improvement plan, and that will take place in advance or during the Common Council meeting on August 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Excellent. Thank you for updating us on those. It's exciting to have the chief here. We're really happy to have him join the city of Fitchburg. So moving on to commission committee reports.
The three items on the plan commission. The first was a rezone request. This is for a proposed project at the intersection of Seminole Highway and Lacey Road. It's a multifamily residential development with, I think, around 300 or so units that are proposed over a series of about 4 buildings, if I recall correctly, maybe 5 buildings. And the developer has proposed or started the process to bring the first of the proposed buildings there that would be right on the south side of the property there, virtually at the intersection of Seminole and Lacey. And this rezone request to Plan Development District General Implementation Plan was approved by the Common Council. So this particular project moves on to its next step in the development process, which would be a specific implementation plan. The next item, there's some property owned by the Oregon School District on the city's northeast side on County Highway MM. They are completing a certified survey map that would allow them to split that property and have the existing single-family residential lot available for them to sell, and that they would keep the remaining portion of that parcel in an outlot, which is, I think, immediately adjacent to some forest land that they already own and is part of their school forest just to the north of Forest Edge Elementary School in the Terravessa neighborhood. And then the third item for the Plan Commission was a certified survey map. This is a reapproval for a project, in fact, a workforce townhome product, if I recall correctly, at 2735 Rimrock Road. The Olive Tree Condos is the project name. State statutes and city ordinances require a project to begin within 1 year of its entitlements all being obtained. And this particular part of the entitlement process had not started within a year. So this needed to be reapproved. Nothing has changed from the first prior approval of the Common Council a bit over a year ago.
Excellent. Those are some good updates from the Plan Commission. Thanks for leading us through those. Looks
Yeah.
like we're headed over to Board of Public Works next. We have a few more items, 6 items from this one.
Yeah, I can kick off with these, Nick, and there are a couple of them that got postponed, and I'll hit those just real briefly as I get to them. But we had an agreement between the city of Fitchburg and Dane County for Fish Hatchery road repairs. We've heard a number of concerns from our community members and the motoring public, bicycling public, about the condition of the turn lanes and the intersections at Fish Hatchery Road and Lacey Road and Fish Hatchery Road and East Sherrill Parkway. That is a county highway road with county highway jurisdiction. Through a cost sharing agreement with the county and the city of Fitchburg, we're going to split the cost equally to make the necessary repairs to both of those intersections. We anticipate that that work will begin this summer and be completed this summer. And look to see much improved roadway conditions there as people are driving through there.
Sounds
And
good.
then the second item we had is the city highway maintenance department is replacing its bucket truck. They currently have a bucket truck that's about 25 years old, and it is time to replace that as it has reached its end of useful life. So this resolution was approved authorizing the purchase of a new bucket truck for our maintenance departments. And the third item are the resolution to accept the 2024 compliance maintenance annual report for the wastewater collection system was also approved by the Common Council. This is an annual item that is required, and that is adopted each and every year. There was nothing notable on that report, if I recall correctly. I think this is one where our Public Works Director advised we had the highest rating or score available on that. So that was obviously a positive. And then the fourth item, the subdivision improvement agreement for the Nine Springs development, that was postponed to a date uncertain as we continue to finalize some documents with the developer. And the same situation is for the fifth item, subdivision improvement agreement for the Uptown Hills project, also was postponed to a date uncertain. And then the sixth and final item in the Board of Public Works was purchase of pedestrian lights for the fourth edition in the Terra Vesta neighborhood. And that was also approved by the Common Council.
Excellent. Thank you for reviewing those.
Sure. I would encourage anybody, when we're looking at the commission and other committee reports, to go ahead to the Fact TV website and take a look at those specific meetings and or the summaries provided by the alders who are the representatives on those respective committees. So there was a fairly lengthy discussion by the Common Council as it relates to this grant that would be offered for the city to accept that would have allowed organics management grant to be implemented with the assistance of Sustain Dane. This program would have created a situation or the opportunity for folks visiting the farmers market to bring in their food scraps and deposit them into a collection container with the intent of reducing the amount of food scraps that are in our waste system. And obviously the food scraps that would have been deposited would be composted for use in other applications. The lengthy debates stemmed around the overall cost of this program. It was going to be about $10,000 in total, with about 1,000 of that being grant funded and the rest being city funding. There was some comments from some of our elected officials that the cost of the program did not necessarily, in their minds, equate to the benefit. Because there was a budget amendment associated with this particular item, it required 6 yes votes for it to be approved, and there were 6 council members present. So that ultimately failed, I believe, 4-2. So that grant was not accepted, and that program is not going to be implemented at this time. So folks who are looking for ways to more sustainably deposit their food scraps will need to look for other options, such as backyard composting or hiring of or utilizing some other options or services available.
Absolutely. Not to jump off topic, but I'm someone who composts, and we go to a private business, pick up a bin and fill it up, drop it off every month. It's pretty cheap and easy to do.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
All right, where are we headed next?
Why don't we go to the Finance Committee? We had a couple of housing related items on the agenda. That is, housing is a top priority for our Common Council. There are plenty of information out there in regards to how tight the market is from a supply side and how difficult it is for folks to attain housing that is affordable for their situation, and also in particular some home ownership. So we had two items that we were talking about, both of which are new initiatives related to housing that the city is progressing down a path on. The first of which is a deferred loan agreement with Uptown Hills Workforce Housing Development. That development will be located on Haight Farm Road, just to the east of the roundabout at Lacey Road, on the city's east side. That's a 24 unit project that will be workforce housing, which means those who are living there, their income will be a certain percentage of the Dane County area median income. And the developer has obtained financing from a variety of different sources for this particular project, and needed about $330,000 in additional financing to complete the financing that's necessary to bring this project to market. The city worked with its financial advising firm, Ellers, as well as an outside legal counsel, Axley, to review and develop the appropriate documents for this deferred loan. This deferred loan is coming from our Affordable Housing Fund, which was generated through the closing of several successful tax increment districts. This is not tax levy money that's being loaned. And this is, as I mentioned, a loan and will be paid back to the city so that in the future, when it's paid back, the money could be allocated to a similar project that would help from an affordable housing perspective. This is our first deferred loan. We are in the process of developing additional guidelines so that if future projects similar to this come forward, deferred loan could be an option to help those projects again come to market. And then the second item is a proposal that was presented to the city by Gorman and Company for a single-family home ownership program. This was an idea from Gary Gorman, who is a longtime city of Fitchburg resident and national developer. And this is kind of phase one of what might be a two-phase project here. But ultimately, this is a public-private partnership in which the city would partner with the developer to install the infrastructure associated with single-family home development, and the developer would waive their development fee and or profit, and look for a site, assist the city in developing and building those homes, all with the goal of creating single-family houses in the $300,000 to $350,000 range. This phase one, was approved by the Common Council, so staff will continue to work with the Gorman and Company to determine if there is a viable site where this program could work, and then do more diligence in identifying the economic cost for this particular proposal. So there will be continuing conversations between the city and the developer, and if a site is selected and analysis is completed, that will end up going to the Common Council for further consideration as to whether or not to move forward with that. And I can move on to the Public Safety and Human Services portion of the agenda if you'd like, Nick.
Or I see something with monkey shines.
Yes, so the city had notified the business that they were considering revocation of their alcohol license based upon police call activity, specifically a homicide that had occurred in early May. Through several meetings and conversations with the business owner, a new plan by the business owner was developed that would rebrand the business and implement some security measures that the city was asking for, and could do what I would describe as a fairly significant overhaul to the business model that has operated for quite some time on McKee Road in the west side of Fitchburg. There was a presentation by the business owner, Corey McMahon, on his proposed plans for the business. There was some information shared by city staff, including our police department, a number of questions and comments for Mr. McMahon from our Common Council members, as well as other comments and questions by our Common Council members for our city staff. Ultimately, the Common Council voted 4-3 to approve a renewal of the liquor license for this business. And city staff will be working with Mr. McMahon on further implementation of his rebrand and implementation of the agreed upon conditions that were identified during this meeting for his liquor license. So more to come there.
More to come.
There was one other item on the Public Safety Committee that was an operator's license that needed special attention by the Common Council, and that was ultimately approved. Also on the housing front, our economic development team, led by Mike Zimmerman and his team, Joyce Fry and Lorene Gage, did a presentation on housing initiatives. And a number of initiatives were identified and presented to the Common Council to determine if they would like to have staff continue to develop these initiatives and bring them back to the Common Council for further consideration. And those are rental rehabilitation through an Efficiency Navigator program. We have already begun our involvement in that Efficiency Navigator program, and we'll look to continue that. We're also looking at workforce housing initiatives for projects that have low-income housing tax credits for families and seniors. That is a program similar to what we had just done with the deferred loan for the Uptown Hills project. That project fits squarely within the program parameters for this particular initiative. Some other things that we'll be looking at for this initiative is some land banking and acquisition for infill ownership and redevelopment sites. Also looking at potentially creating a first-time homebuyer down payment assistance program. This assistance program could be available citywide, and one of the components of the proposal from the Gorman and Company single-family home ownership opportunity would include a component of down payment assistance in that particular project as well. We're also looking at implementing a program that would allow for some funding to be available for emergency situations for senior homeowners. That's really in its infancy, and we have a lot of work to do to see if that's a feasible option for us or not. And then we're also working with housing developers to look at implementation of workforce housing within market rate apartment buildings. A situation like that, you may have, say 10% of the overall units that would be identified as workforce housing and have a lower rental rate than the others. And then continuing to look for public-private partnerships as well. So there was a fair amount of discussion from that, as I had mentioned earlier in the update here, that housing is one of the top priorities for our Common Council. And they all seem supportive of continuing city staff time on development and assessment of these programs that were identified.
I understand correctly, Fitchburg, one of the fastest growing communities in Dane County, if not the fastest.
Yes, we have typically been one of the fastest growing communities in the state.
Wow. Yeah. It speaks a lot to the importance of that stuff then.
Mm-hmm. I think it also is a highlight to the attractiveness of the Dane County area and the city of Fitchburg's proximity to the Madison metropolitan area as well.
Absolutely. All right. So moving on, we have the next few items from the direct referrals. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, we're in the home stretch here, Nick. We had a few direct referrals. First one was for engineering services for a water supply service area plan. This is a new requirement for communities over 10,000, is my understanding, and we needed engineering / consultant assistance in order to be able to complete this plan due to staff capacity and so forth. So this was approved by the Common Council, so we'll be looking to get that plan completed and submitted by its due date at the end of the year. The second item was a change order for the Sain Road reconstruction project, specifically the reconstruction of the intersection at Sahin and McCoy, easy for me to say. There are some significant water table related issues that were found there, and some special rock is needed to be added to this area in order to provide additional stability for the road base. So that's a change order of about $200,000. This project was under budget, and it is also partially grant funded. So the funding was available for this change order, and it was approved by the Common Council. The third item was postponed by the Common Council to July 22nd. So we'll see that come back then. And then the last and final item was a housekeeping item that we do every single year. City staff keeps track of any donations that are received in each of their departments each and every year, and we compile a list administratively at the conclusion of each year, and then by ordinance, the Common Council reviews and adopts or accepts that donation list annually. So this was that portion of the process that was concluded last evening. So I think I had said that I was going to try to keep this to 12 minutes, Nick, and I think I'm pushing 25. So I think some others in your team might be winning the prize on how long this update was going to go. So it was a 4 hour and 25 or 4 hour and 15-minute meeting. So I guess a 25-minute summary is okay.
It's excellent. Thank you for running through all this with us. It's really valuable to have you come here and tell us about what happened at these council meetings. I know for me, it's especially helpful to hear it. You know, I can't watch the 4 hour meeting every time.
Yeah, it's a commitment for sure. So yeah, we're happy to be able to provide this update, and thankful that you and the Fact TV team have put forth this initiative and pump it out to our residents and interested viewers. And I do want to just remind folks that the first Common Council meeting for July has been canceled. The Common Council has historically been canceling that meeting to provide a bit of a summer break. So the next Common Council meeting will be July 22nd.
Perfect. Thank you for that update.